Good morning, I'm Bob Adair. I'm an instructor with Oklahoma State University Fire Service Training, the Hazmat Division. We are here at Altus, Oklahoma, at Altus, Oklahoma Fire Department. We are going through the Hazmat Tech program with the responders here, and we're doing Decon today. All right, our Hazmat technicians have been down range. They have done the evolution that they were sent down to do. They are going to be coming back out. Our greeter is working in the buffer zone between the hot zone and the warm zone. He's going to direct the hazmat technicians to what he needs them to do. They're placing their electronics in one electronics drop. They're placing their tools in the tool drop. Now he's going to analyze the responders to see how much air they have and make sure that they're okay. So he's having them turn 360. What he's looking for is any rips, tears, cuts in their suits. That way he can make sure that he gets that sealed up if they need to be sealed up. Okay, he's going to analyze the other responder. As he goes through, he's checking their air to make sure what they've got, okay? The responder on the left-hand side has got 1,500 PSI. The responder on the right's got 2,000. So being no rips, cuts, or tears, the responder on that side is going to come first. Okay? He's going to walk the responder up. He's going to direct him to step into the boot wash. The responder is going to scrub his feet back and forth to get the major contamination off of his boots. He's going to reach over to the hand wash. He's going to scrub his hands all the way up, his hands and his arms all the way up to the elbow. That way it makes it a lot easier for the folks in the decon corridor to get the rest of the suit. So this process takes a little while. This is not anything that's going to happen in a hurry. So he's doing a good job of washing his hands and up to his arms. He's not going to get everything. We're going to get it down as low as reasonably achievable in order to be able to get this responder out of this suit. So he's giving him something to stabilize himself with, and he's going to step him into the first wash pool. At this point, they're going to wet the suit down, try to get most of the contamination off as they can before they start the scrubbing process. As you can see, they're trying to be as careful as possible. They don't want to get any cross-contamination to the other side or get anything on themselves. That way they stay as clean as possible. He taps him twice on the leg to let him know he needs him to turn. We're going to do quarter turns at a time. As you can see, the contaminant that's on them is coming off fairly easy. Some products are harder to come off. So at this point, our contamination reduction corridor is working very, very well. The guys know what they're doing. We have our pump set right here in case whenever they get through, they'll pump the water off. So when the next responder comes in, we're starting fresh every time. He tapped him twice on the leg. The responder turns a quarter turn. We're basically using the strip flush method. We're starting at the head, coming all the way down to the feet on this responder. We're going to start with the brushes. Should start up at the head to bring it down because still got some contaminant on the head. You may have to have the responder, if he's a tall responder, bend down just a little bit. So the person with the brushes may have to go around him to make sure he gets it down. Taps him twice on the leg to let the responder know that he needs to turn. So now that he's facing him, he can get the top of the head and the face shield on his suit. Notice that every few minutes, every few seconds, he is actually dipping his brushes back in the solution because we want to keep the brushes as wet as possible. That way that product comes off. You have to get up in all the nooks and crannies because hazardous material is very, very bad about hiding in places on our PPE that we wouldn't think it would hide, but it will. Tapped him twice on the leg, the responder turns a quarter turn. Taps him twice on the leg, the responder turns a quarter turn again. Starts at the top, coming all the way down to the feet again. Making sure we try to get the soap in contact, complete contact with the suit. That way it brings the hazardous materials off of the suit. Now our responder is going to rinse the suit. Hopefully this is going to bring a lot more of the contaminant off. We don't want any cross-contamination. We try to manage our water very, very wisely because we're having to trap this water and it will have to be analyzed during technical decon before we can let this water go. Today they were dealing with a corrosive. If it was a flammable liquid, we would take a little bit more precautions. If it's a biological, we really have to take a lot more precautions in order to get this product off of this responder. The responder turns. Noticing in this pool right here, we are not getting everything off of this responder. This is the first, it's called the gross wash. We will do a secondary wash as when he goes into the next pool. Now he's going to point to the walker. The responder is going to lift his leg. They're going to scrub the bottom of his boots. Then they're going to rinse it. Going to scrub it, rinse it, and then set it out of the pool. Okay? Going to lift his other leg. The Decon folks are going to scrub the bottom of his boots to make sure there's nothing in the treads, and then they're going to rinse it and they're going to set it out. At this point right here, if we were dealing with a biological, we got a hypochlorite solution sitting right there that we would put on the suit, and it would have to set for 10 to 15 minutes to let that biological be degraded and stuff. At this point now, we can start our second responder. Second responder is going to walk up, step into the boot wash. Notice on this pool right here, they didn't rinse the responder first. The suit was already wet, so we can automatically go into the scrub cycle. He tapped him twice. He turns, a quarter turn, and the process starts all over again. Each quarter turn, we want to make sure that we get this responder as clean as reasonably possible. The responder that's just now started in has scrubbed his feet in the boot wash. He's washed his hands and his arms up to the elbow. We're going to step him into the first pool, and the process starts all over again. This way we make sure that we cut everything off of this suit as low as reasonably achievable. We don't want anybody taking product out of this Decon corridor or the contamination reduction corridor. Notice you're getting an overspray a little bit. There's nothing you can do about that. That's going to happen in Decon. But we're going to take as many precautions as reasonably possible. You can see that the contaminant is pretty well gone. These guys have done a good job in the contamination reduction corridor. After they get through rinsing this responder, they're going to scrub these boots one more time to make sure that we got it just as well as we can to get the product off of this PPE. Okay, they're letting him know now to turn. They're pointing over to the walker, so he's gonna lift his foot. They're gonna hook his foot under the brush with a brush, because this responder is probably at this point pretty tired. And so we want to hold his foot up to where we can wash it, and then we're going to rinse it. They're going to bring his foot out of the pool and set it down on the grates. He's going to shift to where they can get the other foot up. They're going to scrub the bottom of the boot really, really well. They're going to rinse that boot off, and then they're going to bring his foot out of the pool. Now this responder is going to the checkpoint, so he's going to walk forward. Since we're dealing with a corrosive, we don't want to use electronics in this corridor, so we're going to use pH on a stick to where our responders are safe. They're not having to touch him. Notice they are just tapping with this pH paper. They're not dragging it, because if they drag it, they get a change with this product, then they don't know where they got it. So tapping in between all crevices, any folds in the suit. Right now we're not getting a change. pH paper will work wet or it will work dry. So as they're doing this process, they're checking. We also need to check the back of this responder. So starting at the top, all the way down, we're still not getting a noticeable change. The second responder still being processed. This process will go on as he comes through too. Still, we are getting no noticeable change in the pH paper. We got to tap everywhere. All right, we got no change in the pH paper. The responder can turn back around. They can signal him to go to the doffing area. The doffing area should be a clean area. We'll have 2 responders at minimum up here. We're going to take him and we're going to have him step into that plastic bag. And they're going to start the process of removing this responder's suit. They're going to open up the suit, find the zipper. You'll notice these responders will never touch the inside of this responder's suit. We can handle the outside, which is fine, but we never want to touch the inside of this suit. We're going to help him get his arms out. We're going to bring the suit down past the responder's ankles as much as we can, past his calves. Do not touch the inside of the suit at all. Then one of the responders can help him sit down. And the responder in front of him can take his boots and his suit off. We want to take the boot off first that is closest to the cold zone. Notice we don't ever want to put our knees on the ground. In hazmat, that's a no-no. So the boot goes inside the bag. The other boot comes off down inside the bag. The docking team is going to try to best they can to put that suit down into the bag. The responder is going to stand up. He is now in the cold zone. He can take his SCBA with him because it was inside the suit, so the responder can walk forward. He is now going to medical. He's gone. Notice our responders inside the decon corridor in the doffing area is putting the suit in the bag. These are one-time use suits, so these suits will be taken by a contractor and they're going into the bin for the suits. The second responder's coming up to the check area. So our folks that's doing the pH paper has got new pH paper. They're tapping the suit. Notice not dragging it, they're tapping. That way if we have any product left on this responder, they'll catch it. That's their job. One of our last lines of defense against the chemicals. Notice they got between the fingers because most of the time most of the product's going to be on the hands and on the feet. So they tap between the fingers and stuff to make sure this responder is good and clean as possible. All right, they got the front, so now the responder will turn. And we'll start the process all over again to make sure that we got the back of the suit as clean as possible. We try to keep our responders in the doffing area as clean as possible. So we want to make sure that suit is as clean as reasonably possible. All right, they check him all the way down. They tell him, they tap him to let him know he can turn back around, and now he can go to the doffing area. He's going to walk up. He's going to step inside this bag. They're pointing to the bag, so he knows to step into it. He's going to turn around, and they are actually going to try to dry this suit off. They're going to pop the suit a few times to get any water that's trapped in any of the folds, crevices, creases, and stuff off. They're going to dry the suit with towels in order to make it a lot safer for the responder that's inside this level A suit. This is very, very labor intensive. It takes a lot of people in order to do this process. So our responders have to be very diligent in their work to keep each other safe. The responder in the suit can work his arms out of the sleeves at this point. They're going to unzip the zipper on the suit, bring it down below his knees. Then he'll be ready to sit down. Notice the responder's kind of popping the suit again to get any excess water off of it. Keeps our responder inside the suit as safe as possible. Very, very warm inside these suits. Nothing gets in, nothing gets out. So you notice the responder is sweating, okay? He worked his arms out. We're going to work the suit down below his knees. We don't put our knees on the ground in hazmat. He's got the suit pushed down. Now he can grab a hold of the SCBA cylinder, help this responder sit down. The doffing responder is going to pull the boots and the suit off at the same time. He sets his foot outside into the cold zone. This should be a clean area, also called the support zone. Now this responder can stand up. He takes his SCBA with him, and he goes to medical. The responders inside the doffing area are going to bag the suit up. He goes in one of the containment bins. We'll have a contractor come get those suits and get rid of them. And then we're done. After the Decon corridor is finished, we do not take this stuff with us. We will leave this, we just walk away from it. We let a contractor come in, bag this stuff up, decon it, whatever they need to do, and they take it with them. And then if we have a responsible party, we will actually build a responsible party for all the equipment that's in here. So on our 214, we will actually want to list everything that's inside this corridor, anything that we have used, all of our consumables, all of our suits, and all. Thank you very much for your participation. This is Bob Adair with Oklahoma Fire Service Training. Hope to see you again.